And welcome you guys. Hi, how you guys doing tonight? Hopefully everyone is ready to hear some news. Hi Mike, hi Sandra, hi Tia, hi Jaja, hi Brenda, hi Jenny, hi Rodney, hi Joe, hi other Rodney, hi Susan, hi Billy, and how you doing, Minnie and Kevin? Crazy night, crazy day out there. Of course, everything going on. But where the president? Where's the president? Where the vice president speaking about what's happening with the loss of life, the flooding in Kentucky, the flooding in freaking Las Vegas. Las Vegas running out of water. I mean, they're flooding, but they're running out of water because none of that water is actually clean. It's all contaminated with ash. So, big problems coming forward. And that's just the little things. New York City now, polio is being found in the water, in the wastewater. Where is it coming from? And where's our government going to, where are they going to point us to next? It has to come from somewhere. Polio being found in the wastewater means it's in somebody has polio or somebody is dumping it down the drain. Of course, that could be very bad. Polio virus is present in the wastewater in New York City suburbs for a month now. Health officials are announcing they can confirm cases. The confirmed case of the disease last month said that Monday, urging residents to be sure they have been vaccinated. We haven't seen polio here in a long time. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. The discovery of the disease in wastewater samples collected in June means that the virus is present in the community before the county adult the adult that was diagnosed on publicly on July 21st. So, which is one thing after another going forward with this. It is ridiculous. The Center of Disease Control, of course, try to hammer this down and keep people out from actually being able to talk about it. But Grandpa must need help with something. I don't know what he needs, but hold on one second, you guys. I will be right back. I'll be right back with you guys. I am so sorry about this, but I have to go for a second. I will be right back. Give me 1 second. Sorry, that's the way it goes sometimes. I am so sorry I had to walk away for a minute. Yeah, AOC should be out in November. I hope Tina could win. I really do. I'm sorry I had to walk away for a second. Grandpa needed help. Truck stopping delivering to California. Yes, there is truth to that, but not the way you think it is. The reason trucks are no longer allowed to go to California is because the new restrictive independent operator agreements that they're putting in place. Truckers are not allowed through that unless they work for a big company. It's just sad. It's sad. But the CDC, this whole CDC thing with the polio being back in circulation should have been put out much faster to people. People should have been made aware of this and how quickly polio can spread. Now it's time for every adult parent and guardian to get themselves vaccinated as soon as possible. They should have been vaccinated ahead of time. As soon as they tested the first person that became positive, they should have automatically rolled out mass vaccinations for polio. We know how quick it spreads. We know how bad it is. And we know there's no cure for polio. It causes irreversible paralysis. Of course, we don't vaccinate for much anymore because it hasn't been seen in a long time. But where did this come from? Where did the polio come from? Because we haven't seen it around the world in a long time. Leaders aren't speaking about that. They're not speaking about the 37 dead found in Kentucky so far with the flooding. Nobody wants to open their mouth. Nobody wants to be the person to speak up and say, hey, there's a problem here. These are American citizens. And we're expecting more flooding coming forward, which is not good for anybody. The country is going to hell in a handbasket, literally. Growing concerns, of course, with thousands of farmers across the U.S. about a new a weed killer that is devastating crops. Critics are calling a ban on a product that farmers consider vital. The ban. It's an herbicide. It's an herbicide it's drift-prone herbicide that is killing family farmers and farmers all alike. There's a flourishing divide amongst followers or farmers amongst the country. The powerful weed killer creates devastating consequences on a lot of farms. The chemical set called dicamylocin, I can't even pronounce it, devastates crops, even if it wasn't sprayed on. Under certain conditions, the chemical has the ability to drift miles from when and where it was sprayed, creating massive problems on farms coast to coast. So they're paying farmers to kill off their crop and turn their crop under, so they're using this. And then all of a sudden, it's killing other crop. And we're seeing it happen right now. It's a big problem. Well, farmers say they use it say it's vital to their livelihood, and when they're paid to turn under crop, the damage continues stacking up nationwide. And there's growing concern about the Environmental Protection Agency's decision to continue to reapprove the product, especially with all this even having worse. Yeah, why does he have COVID again? That's a good question. Lots of good questions about COVID, but we're not getting into that. It's just a bad, sad story. But of course, farmers are trying to harvest early what they can. Picklers work through blistering heat this summer, trying to pick the fresh peaches deemed ripe enough for sale, because they know the crop has already been, these peach trees are already dying because of this spraying that happened several fields over. This is sad. Banana Boat, of course, is in the news tonight, pulling sunscreens from the shelves again, containing cancer-causing benzene, which we know for a long time that it wasn't supposed to be in the sunscreens. That's why they got pulled last time. But now they're showing more of Banana Boat's products contain, from the hair and scalp sunscreen to 3 batches of products contains trace levels of benzene that came from the bottle, even though benzene is not an ingredient in the sunscreen itself. So where's it coming from? It's a direct cancer-causing agent. We know that. This isn't the first time this had the issue. The voluntary recall of 3 batches were already pulled last year, and now there's 3 more batches for December, if their expiration dates are December 22nd, February 2023, or April 2024. They don't even care. Literally. This company's putting out product that shouldn't have stuff in it is being put out, knowing that it shouldn't be in there. It is sad. Of course, UN chief warns the world is just one misunderstanding away from nuclear annihilation as tensions rise across the globe, not just with China. We have India and Pakistan now getting ready for increasing fighting daily. I can't say getting ready because literally daily they're increasing fighting. They could end up in a nuclear war, which would end up dropping the world temperature 5 degrees Celsius. May not, of course, hit bombs on us, but it will cause world crop devastation. Putin is warning that there could be no winner in a nuclear war. China is stepping up, of course, because Pelosi decides to go to Taiwan. And then you have Iran making a direct threat. Iran vows to build nuclear nukes if provoked and turn New York City into hellish ruins, was the direct statement. Iran reportedly threatened to build nuclear warheads and warned that it has the capability to turn New York into hellish ruins amid stale efforts to reinstate a nuclear deal between the country and the world's powers. Revolutionary Guard posted a 2-minute video saying Sunday that it vowed to quickly and suddenly and start building nuclear bombs, and if the U.S. or the Zionist regime make any stupid mistakes, according to their Iran International, a London-based news outlet, that they will bomb New York City and turn it into a hellish landscape. I mean, this is one thing after another. Yeah, Red 40 and Skittles. We got all kinds of everywhere. Pelosi is going to Taiwan. She's going to be there sometime tomorrow, I'm guessing. We're waiting for her flight to take off. I've been watching. No report of her flight taking off yet. Killed a terrorist in Afghanistan, yes. But at the same time, we violated the pullout agreement we had with the Taliban there. We had an agreement, a pullout agreement, where they wouldn't kill U.S. citizens, and we would not use drone attacks within Afghanistan. We directly violated that. So that could cause more problems here in the U.S. because we know there's Taliban cells still here in the U.S. That's just more ridiculousness. Nancy Pelosi, of course, pushing her way across now the U.S. carrier and a pair of ships carrying F-35 stealth fighters are operating in Taiwan amidst China's warnings. The report is the Ronald Reagan, or the aircraft carrier, it doesn't say which aircraft carrier actually, 2 ships with F-35s are operating near Taiwan. The ships are operating normally, but could linger as contingency options. Of course, the operations come amidst renewed Chinese warnings over possible Pelosi trip to Taiwan. China today, like they said, the Chinese military posted missile strike videos as Taiwan prepares for Pelosi's arrival. Pelosi is going. It's not a question now. It's a question of when is she going to be there. Yeah, Spar 20 flying to Taiwan from Japan. Yeah, but she was in. Last thing I knew, she was in the Philippines. So we'll find out. Spar 20, I don't think she'll be flying on that. It's a much smaller plane. But we're watching as soon as this happens, step by step. We got to keep an eye on it. Watching all military planes flying in and out of Taiwan. We just got to keep watching and see what's happening. Because this is a high-tension situation. I mean, China does have the capability of attacking U.S. mainland. And this would just be a spit to start. Be a back and forth, and it would be one after another until it would escalate to a full-force war with the United States. And I'm sure Russia would love to join in at that point. We've been seeing massive military movement throughout the United States in the last couple of days. In the last week or so, we've been seeing warnings telling people to have bug-out bags ready. be able to evacuate in a moment's notice, have important papers, documents, snacks, water, and essentials packed into a backpack ready to go. Why? Why is this happening in the U.S.? Because a Speaker of the House wants to go to Taiwan to make it look like we're trying to break the one China policy? That's what's happening. Chinese ships, of course, are entering Japanese waterways today near Taiwan ahead of Pelosi's arrival to Taiwan. Japanese Coast Guard, of course, is out there and trying to push the Chinese vessels to leave Japan's territorial waters. But it's not happening. China's not moving. I mean, so what are we waiting for? Literally. This is a tinderbox that's on fire. We have Russia ready to send nukes. We have China ready to go to war with us. We have Iran ready to nuke us. We have North Korea saying they're ready for nukes. Military transport equipment by rail, and it's not going to the west. It's not going to the desert where they usually do their war games during the summer. This is heading to coastal cities, Richard. I don't know if you realize that. The trains are heading out of where they do their normal training to coastal cities. These trains filled with tanks, not just tanks, but all the healthcare vehicles, all the support vehicles as well are being transported. So these aren't like a go out and test fire the tanks kind of event that we see going on yearly here. Where are these vehicles going? And what is the government readying for? Because they're not talking about the loss of lives in Kentucky or Las Vegas or the water crisis in Las Vegas and the possible upcoming more loss of life in Kentucky, as flooding is supposed to occur more today or more tomorrow, I guess. We'll get another rain belt coming through. Polio being found in New York. The government agents, where are they? They're not talking about it. Nobody is talking about it. Nobody's talking about the growing concern about the food crop shortages that we're going to be seeing. Now even meat producers are stepping forward and stating that they know they're going to be a big shortage this year because they're having to call their cattle now. And the prices are still increasing because they're calling cattle way too young, which it still costs them money to get it. Las Vegas, Nevada, and New Mexico are both having water shortage issues. The problem is the pollutants that ran into the river from the fire. Pelosi's set dead in her tracks, though, on going to Taiwan, despite all the warnings from China. Hypersonic weapons, of course, being loaded on Russian warships today, and known to be on China's warships already on their newer ships. Hypersonic weapons, and this is a dangerous scenario. A very dangerous scenario. Yeah, the government has to know something they're not telling us because they're not talking about the real problems out there. And then we got idiots like Eddie Block out there threatening somebody's life or threatening somebody's children, let's be honest, by posting his address out there and everything. And then he gets all upset when he gets tapped in the face a couple times. He shouldn't have been giving out people's personal information in the first place. I mean, there's so much shit going on right now. It's driving me crazy. They're pushing these electric trucks when our power grid can't handle it. They're pushing electric vehicles in every turn, cutting off coal power plants. Our southern borders, yeah. Yeah, the U.S. has bit off a lot more than it can chew at this point. I mean, we're looking at not just one part of the country. We're not looking at just one power like Russia. We're looking at India. We're looking at Iran. We're looking at North Korea. We're looking at China. Without a question, those are all places we're looking at right now because they are tinderboxes. Literally tinderboxes. And administration doesn't even care about that. Our administration cares more about trying to make our economy green when we can't even afford the power we have right now. People can't afford what we barely have. People living paycheck to paycheck just to buy food, not even paying their bills, half of them. Baby boomers are expected having a huge homelessness crisis coming up soon. It's just one thing after another. What's Congress doing? Oh, wait, we're going to send more money to Ukraine. $550 million bill is going to be voted on. And if not voted on, Biden will use an executive order to send that $550 million to Ukraine for more support. Because unlike the rest of the world, Americans don't need help from their own country, right? They can just starve. They can just not have what they need. We have food bank lines. We have bread lines in the United States. It's a bad thing. We should not have bread lines if we're a first world country that is not directly involved in a war. Even with a war, we shouldn't have bread lines. But we do. We have bread lines that they can't even feed the people by the end of the line because they don't have enough food. When you go around and you look at the food banks that are going on right now and everything else, and they're saying that they cannot feed the people that come to them every week. And those numbers have more than doubled in the last couple months. It is a sad state of affairs. When our president can't speak out against flooding and loss of life, he can't speak out of what's actually happening. He doesn't want to mention stuff that needs to be talked about. We have nobody stepping up and talking about it at all. Then, everything's going to be fine. Inflation's under control. We're not in a recession. It's all okay. Just look at the hands. Don't watch what's actually happening. That's what our freaking government's doing right now. And we're having to face the facts. Our government no longer cares about its citizens. People aren't realizing they're trying to buy goods now, and half those goods are half the size they were before. One thing after another. Go to buy a half-pounded block of cheese, it's now 6 ounces instead of 8. It's not even a half a pound. It took a quarter of that away. And they still charged you $1 more. And guess what? The government says we should be happy about that. This is a good thing. It's a good thing your rent doubled or your power bill doubled. It's a great thing. We're going to increase taxes to make it all better. And increase the interest rates for everybody that has to use credit cards to buy food because they have no other option. So then they can pay more interest on their credit cards. So that 17% interest rate now is 22%, and they can be happy about it. That's the game our government's playing. Not to mention all the other shit we have going on. The death toll in Kentucky is now at 37, not 35. I've been upkeeping with the death toll as they find people. It has been 37 confirmed dead so far as of this evening. It's sad. I mean, we're seeing massive layoffs of companies, not just little layoffs. And now we're seeing there's going to be more layoffs coming forward. Yeah, just change the definition and everything's okay. Just change the definition and everything is going to be okay. It's sad. Massive amounts of layoffs. People, of course, and the more people get laid off, the more people that are going to be starving, the higher prices are going to go. It's just a cycle that's going to keep happening at this point. It's a cycle that's been happening. It's going to keep happening. I just don't even know what to say at this point or what to do to make the country better. Besides, we need to stand together and make sure we're heard together. It's all getting to be too much. As Americans, we have to work together and we have to make sure our voices are heard. We may be at war in the next day or two over Pelosi going to Taiwan. We may not be. We may be dealing with a nuclear winter for 5 to 10 years that lowers us 5 degrees Celsius temperature wise due to Iran or India and Pakistan going to war. Starvation, that would definitely happen. That's sad, Pam. That's the way in the United States it's happening right now. Looking at extreme homelessness coming as rents go up. People have to re-sign their leases and their rents are going to be well above what they can afford. Government not even want to talk about losses of life from natural disasters here in the United States. Or the fact that polio is reappearing. Many people don't even know they're sick until after 30 days. Because at first it produces mild flu-like symptoms or even common cold. It could take as long as 30 days to even appear with those symptoms. So people aren't realizing they're getting polio. Yeah. There's a lot more than that total fired, but it's one way or another. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep our country going. I've always said that, and I will always be honest about that. Whatever it takes. Please, you guys, hit that share button, like button, so it makes sure more people get out here and actually see what's happening and hear what's happening. It's sad. We're facing this. It's not doomed. We're not doomed. We can do this. We can live through anything. We can survive through anything. We just have to work together as Americans, as true Americans. As true Americans. Not as leftist or extreme right. We don't need any of extreme right or left. We just need to be ready for what we can do to push ourselves up. It doesn't matter. The CIA stepped to bounds and broke a contract that we had with the Taliban to not use any attack or not attack anybody there until our agreement was not to do it at all. We were giving the country back. Afghanistan. So I don't know what that's going to lead to, Susan, but that's just more stuff that we don't need. I mean, I think Saudi Arabia has a great idea with building their wall and putting all the liberals that they have there in their wall, their city wall, that they're going to call it, where they never have to leave. Maybe we should do that here. But God bless you guys. I will see you guys Wednesday night, if nothing else happens, of course. If something happens tomorrow or any time with Taiwan and Pelosi going to Taiwan, we will be immediately online. I am scared to shit about the powder keg that's happening with Pelosi going to Taiwan. It's just not good. It is not good. But good night. God bless you all. And if you can afford to donate, please do. If you can't, we understand. But we definitely need donations to keep stuff going and keep people informed. I think we raised last month was $70 or no, $80 last month. So we're definitely going to need to raise more than that this month to get going on this Thanksgiving meals. But God bless you guys, and we will see you Wednesday night. Please hit that share button though and get it out there as much as possible, and hit that thumbs up. Definitely appreciate it, y'all. God bless.